My son walked into the birthday hall with a bruise under his eye. Small, purple, fresh. He didn't say anything, not at first. He didn't have to. The room already shifted, subtly, like everyone had agreed to pretend the obvious wasn't bleeding through his skin. My new wife's father noticed me staring. He smirked, a slow, deliberate curl of his lips, an old man enjoying a private joke. "I just taught him a lesson," he said, loud enough for the table to hear. Laughter followed, scattered and uncomfortable. My new wife joined in. "My dad is never wrong anyway." I felt something tilt inside me. Not anger. Anger was loud, predictable. This was colder, like a needle sliding under the skin. I leaned closer to my son. He wouldn't look at me. Then, softly, he uttered something only I could hear. A single sentence. And the whole table fell silent. My wife froze. The glass slipped from her fingers and shattered at her feet. Later that night, still replaying his words, I received another call. A different voice. My daughter-in-law. "If you want to join Thanksgiving, come wash the dishes," she snapped. I didn't argue, didn't explain. I simply replied, "Enjoy." An hour later, 71 missed calls, all triggered by one thing: the photos I had sent her. My villa, my quiet, snow-covered Swiss villa. Not a single person at that table understood the truth about me. But they were about to, and this time no one would laugh. My son's voice haunted me long after the party ended. "Dad, he hits Mom too." 5 words. 5 needles pushed into my spine. Not the bruise, not the laughter. This quiet confession that broke something in a way a bruise never could. I didn't confront anyone, not yet. I simply stood there while my wife rushed him away, flustered, avoiding my eyes. Her father grinning like he owned the air around us. The room swallowing the tension as people pretended to adjust napkins and plates. But the real betrayal unfolded in fragments, small, careful details. My wife's sudden new boundaries, her reluctance to let me pick my son up from school, her father's increasing presence in our home, always commenting, always judging, control disguised as family. Then, the messages. I found them by accident, or maybe something inside me had already known exactly where to look. Her phone lit up while she was in the shower. A name I didn't recognize. A message I did. He bought it. "Keep him calm." Followed by another, "Your dad says push harder. He's rich. We can get more." I stared at the screen. Not shocked. Disappointment was too small, too warm of a word. This was calculation. A plan, a strategy, a partnership between her and her father, using my son as a pawn, using me as a wallet. And worst of all, she thought she deserved it. I stood there in the quiet bathroom, steam fogging the mirror, my pulse a slow, steady metronome. Something inside me closed. Not shattered, closed. I didn't tell her what I saw, didn't ask questions. Questions give people power. Instead, I smiled when she came out of the shower, kissed her forehead, acted like nothing had shifted. But everything had. And the game she thought she was playing was no longer hers. In the following days, I behaved like a man at peace, silent, predictable, obedient. She relaxed, her father relaxed, and while they relaxed, I moved. Quietly, cleanly. First, I took my son for a routine checkup. I asked the doctor the right questions, documented everything, photographed the bruise under proper lighting. Next, I met with a lawyer in a cafe 3 towns away, a man used to handling quiet wars. He didn't ask why I needed custody filings prepared in advance. He simply nodded. Then I checked the security cameras. Footage from the living room, footage from the hallway, footage of her father entering the house when I wasn't home, footage of him shouting, footage of him throwing a slipper, hard, toward my son. It missed, but intention is louder than impact. Every second, time-stamped. Every frame, stored. Still, I didn't confront. I let November roll in. I let my daughter-in-law call me with her demands, dripping entitlement through the phone like cheap perfume. If you want Thanksgiving with us, wash the dishes. You know you married up when you got my sister. You should be grateful we even include you. I always replied calmly. People reveal themselves faster when you offer no resistance. Meanwhile, I arranged my own Thanksgiving plans. Switzerland. The villa they didn't know existed. The life they assumed I couldn't possibly have. I took updated interior photos, quiet hallways, glass walls overlooking mountain snow, a dining table set for no one. I sent them to my daughter-in-law without context. Then I silenced my phone. When it vibrated relentlessly, 71 times, it didn't rattle me. In fact, it settled me. Because panic is the first sign a trap is working. Back home, my wife sensed a shift. "Is everything okay?" she asked one evening. "Yes," I whispered, and smiled in a way she didn't understand. Because now everything was better than okay. It was almost time. The truth arrived in a simple envelope. DNA results. Not for paternity, my son was mine. For the bruise. For the pattern of older injuries the doctor quietly suspected. For the timeline. Everything pointed to the same man, her father. I placed the envelope on the dining table that night. My wife entered the room, stopped, and stared at it. "What's this?" she asked. I didn't answer. I simply sat, calm, hands folded. When she opened it, her face drained of color. She read every line, every medical note, every time-stamped incident. Then she looked up at me. Her voice cracked. I didn't know." "You did," I replied softly. "You just didn't care." Her breath hitched, a tiny, broken sound. Her father's voice echoed down the hallway, approaching. Perfect timing. He stepped in, saw the papers, and sneered. "What's all this nonsense?" I slid the printed photos across the table. Him, clustered in still frames, caught mid-motion, mid-rage. He stopped talking. Silence. Thick, heavy. My wife whispered his name, trembling. I didn't raise my voice, didn't threaten, didn't insult. "Take a good look," I said. My tone was flat, almost gentle. Because after tonight, neither of you will see him again. The power shift was instantaneous. He stuttered, reaching for excuses. She reached for me. I stepped back, not angrily, just away. "You planned to use me," I said. "Your father told you to push harder, to take more, to manipulate." Her eyes widened, caught, exposed. How did you?" I read everything. No shouting, no explosion. Just the truth landing between us like a final verdict. I placed a folder on the table. Custody filings, documentation, lawyer notes. "I'm filing tomorrow." She collapsed into a chair, sobbing. Her father snarled, but the sound no longer carried authority. He looked small, shrinking by the second. "You can't take him," she cried. "I love him." "No," I said. "You loved what you could get through him." Her father's face twisted. "You think you're better than us?" "No," I replied. "I'm just finished." Then I did the final thing. The thing that broke them. I pulled out my phone and showed them the photos. The villa. The life I never flaunted, never weaponized. The future they thought they could claw their way into. Her breath caught. Her father paled. "You hid this from us," she whispered. "I didn't hide it," I said. "You never asked." And then I walked out. No threats, no warnings. Just the quiet weight of truth crushing whatever delusions they had left. The night felt colder when I stepped outside. But inside me, something settled. Not peace, not satisfaction, clarity. My son slept in the car, unaware of the shift that had occurred, unaware that his world had just been pulled away from the shadows. I watched him breathe, slow, steady. He deserved better than what they tried to make of us. As I drove, my phone buzzed again. More calls, more messages, more panic from people who once laughed at me. I didn't answer. Some truths aren't meant to be explained. Some endings don't need witnesses. Snow began falling as I reached the highway. Soft, quiet, indifferent. By the time we landed in Switzerland the next morning, the villa windows glowed warm against the cold. A new silence. A better one. When I closed the door behind us, I whispered a single sentence to myself. A sentence that felt like the final severing of a rope that had been choking me for years. I'm done carrying people who tried to break me. And just like that, I was free.